Hello there here, and today we're going to play Playdate, developed by Skeleton Studios. So this is Playdate case number 3. Fangs for the Mmrs. I don't know how to say that. I'm trying to mimic Dracula stuff, but no. So I've played case number 2 and number 1, which you could check on the card above if I remember to do it. Usually I don't. But yeah, case number 3, as I said before, there's a clue of me saying Dracula, and the look of the person is about vampires. Or so I think. I don't really know. So yeah, either way, enough talk. Let's play that, shall we? Start. Aha. Alright, well, I'm still home, still bored, and still not interested in getting a real job. Student loans be damn. Oh, relatable. However, I do have more stories to tell. Honestly, this is one of the less weird ones in the grand scheme of things. Being that we never confirmed the monsters were real and nothing completely horrifying happened. It's nice then? It was just a really weird encounter, not sure what to make of it. Okay. But about those vampires I mentioned a while ago, apparently they're the other support band on our tour we have coming up, so I'd like to know if I should pack a garlic or not. Let me know you guys think. I don't know, Corey, you don't want to be arrested for murder, you know? Like suddenly the whole band just lay dead there and you're probably the one that will get blamed. We were in boys, which has nothing to do with this, but I wanted to mention it just because you don't typically think of vampires being in Idaho. Idaho? What is that? You expect some kind of potato monster, probably, but I digress. Yeah, usually vampires is in the royal settings, not yeah, you're right, in this kind of band situation, it is usually potato monster. Anyway, we wound up opening their show up just because we had a day off on our tour with the headliners. And the routes happen to intersect, and we always need the extra cash. I'm not exactly sure how they found us. Their management reached out about it, and we were just kinda like, yeah, sure, what could go wrong? Famous last words. The van blew a tire on the way there. Brian got food poisoning from some veggie burger he ate and had to run off stage to barf between every other song. I'm pretty sure Caleb broke every string on his guitar. And Savannah managed to knock off a chunk of one of her cymbals mid-set, and the pieces that went flying came dangerously close to taking my ears off, but at least it doesn't, so yeah. Good concert. The only one who seemed to be having a good day was Thief, who spent most of it napping in the green room. No. I don't know if this run of bad luck had anything to do with the other band or not. It was probably coincidence, honestly, but it certainly put us, or at least me, in high alert, jumping in shadow superstition mode. Anyway, we hadn't seen this other band all day, like they never even came to the venue. Oh. Some stagehands and production crew set everything up for the down. That is so nice. Which is weird that they hired stagehands because we were playing some club for like maybe 300 people? Where did they get that money? Well, there's two options, either vampire money or they're doing corruptions. My first thought was record label, but I'll look them up later and they aren't signed. Still haven't figured that one out. Okay. Also, they were touring in an RV, which, while not quite a bus, is a significant step up from our junkie fan. Again, who is funding this? Cue X-File theme music. Yeah, I cannot cue it because it is copyrighted, and the game does so too. So, that I don't remember the song. They stayed inside RV the entire day with all the curtains drawn and the windshield covered up so you couldn't see inside at all, and more notably, there was no sun going in. Okay. Ah, so that's all how you look like. Interesting. Finally, as we were getting off stage after our set for sunset, I might add, we caught sight of them walking through the door. I did a bit of digging after this whole ordeal, and the internet was nice enough to provide me with their names and instruments, but that was about all I could find. Alright. Oh, Cecil Outwood, Bloodline. Cecil Outwood, lead guitar, Van Stone, drums, Nils Hammer, bass, Blair Lockhart. Definitely a vampire name, lead vocals, Rosa Hawthorne, rhythm guitar, alright. They were pale, looked like they just woken up, and the one in front had eyeliner that would make Gerard Way jealous. I don't know who is Gerard Way, but yeah, that's a grand eyeliner. They made a beeline for the green room, which was also where we were heading. There was a guard by the door who definitely hadn't been there earlier. Oh no. She stepped in front of the door after the other band disappeared inside, blocking our way. Yeah.
Sorry, you guys can't go in there right now.
Why?
What?
Mm-hmm.
Our stuff is in there. Also, I want to shower.
Oh, relax, Corey. People already know you as a stinky person, so it's fine.
You can have it back after Bloodline gets on stage. Apparently they need privacy before their set or something.
Mm-hmm, alright.
Then why didn't they stay in their stupid RV?
I don't know. Yeah, why must they take the only privilege you guys have in here? The guard shrugged.
My boss says it's some kind of band ritual. I don't get paid enough to ask questions. I was just told to keep everyone out.
Base, as long as you get paid, isn't it? I tried to come up with a stable retort, not that the shower was important, but the bigger concern was that we left Thief in the green room. He was usually good about staying hidden, but I didn't entirely trust the mutt yet. However, Savannah was glaring daggers at the guard, so I opted to retreat before we went up with a cat fight on our hands, and by cat I mean like Siberian tiger, and got thrown out of the venue entirely. I took a breath to collect myself.
I guess we're going to sell some merch.
Fair? Not fair, actually. Our merc table was showed up in the corner pretty much as far away from the stage as possible. We left it unattended during our set. If anyone wanted to steal the bottleneck shirts, more power to them. Yeah, I will probably just take all of your items when you're not seeing, like all the shirts and all the merch, and leave it empty. We managed to get some stickers and donut cards printed with the new name, and Brian was working on some new shirt design in between shows, but we wouldn't be able to get those ordered for a while yet. Okay. Ah. Who are you? I took a look around as I slid behind the table. Oh, this is Bloodline tables. The other band's merch booth, Dwarf Hours, they had their name on every kind of sales-worthy item you could think of. Shirts, hoodies, posters, stickers, CDs, bracelets, and a really expensive limited edition leather jacket. Again, where were they getting this money? I did get somewhat of an answer as I survived the crowd. There were Bloodline shirts everywhere. I scanned a row of people and it was just Bloodline, 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 over and over again. Okay. How had I never heard of this band before? What did they do? Make a deal with the devil? Very funny. Or do they just have some wiki guerrilla marketing tactic that I need to figure out how to steal? Also could be.
This band seems pretty popular. Where'd they come from? I've never heard of them.
If you want to be stereotypical, then straight from Transylvania.
I was thinking the same thing. It's like they just appeared out of thin air.
Haha. It's like, okay, it's like they just appeared, right? Savannah watched as the last person in line. On the other hand, Ben Staple walked away clutching a t-shirt.
I think I know how we can find out.
Okay, by the way, nice search, Savannah. I followed her gaze, landing on Bloodline's merch person who had picked up their phone and was busily texting during the lull in customers.
Ah, you want to go and make a new friend?
Sure, why not? Oh, sorry. She nodded. A smile smeared across my face. Oh no.
I'm in.
We left Brian in charge of the merch sales, and Caleb can count his way out of a paper bag, and Savannah and I sauntered up to the Bloodline's table. I put on my friendliest, most disarming smile as we approach. Hey.
Hey! I'm the opening band that just played.
The merch person glanced up from their phone, raising an eyebrow. They had some pretty intense dark circles under their eyes, but honestly, sleep is a precious commodity on tour.
Looking forward to Bloodline set.
Yeah, definitely. She leaned on the counter with her best sinister smile, though whether it was attractive or just kind of scary was seriously up for debate.
You seem busy. They have a big following?
Yeah, sure.
Something like that.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I offered a hand. Here, a hand.
What's your name? I'm Corey, and this is Savannah.
Let me guess, it's some kind of vampiric name like that. They tentatively shook my hand.
Sydney.
Oh, that was rather normal. Who's taking the lead? Select a character. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Oh, that's new on this series. I guess the main character? Ask how long they've been working for Bloodline.
So, Sydney, how long have you been working for these guys?
They shrugged.
A few months. This is my first tour with them.
Okay, that's cool. Ask if they've been out with other bands before this. Ask what Bloodline music is like.
So, not gonna lie,
Mhm.
I hadn't really heard of these guys before. What kind of show am I in for?
Not gonna lie, they are kinda sus. Cine tap their chin thoughtfully.
I think they're trying to be the next MCR or Fallout Boy or something.
What is MCR and Fallout
They
Boy?
definitely have a flair for the dramatic.
Doesn't everyone want to be the next MyChem?
This game is so millennial, I guess, that I don't really know anything about it. That actually got a laugh out of them.
Yeah, I guess so, but Bloodline is trying extra hard.
Trying extra hard, okay. Ask if they're any good?
So, are they like any good?
Oh yeah, they are. If you like the whole emo goth shtick.
Shtick, okay.
Right. About that. What's up with the whole not coming out until after dark thing, huh? They've been in that RV all day.
Oh, you know, they have sensitive skins.
Ah, yeah, that. It's, I don't know. They're just eccentric. Or something. They are capable of walking in the sunlight, if that's what you're getting at. They just don't like to.
Okay. That was strangely worded. What? Corey? Ask if they are vampires? Okay. I laugh uncomfortably, obviously.
Sure, they're not vampires or something.
Yeah, they're not vampires or something, right? Please say no. Sydney just shrugged. I'm not sure what answer I was hoping for, but it wasn't that. Okay. Well, that's a crowd. Before we could press further, the light dimmed and the crowd started to cheer as 5 people walked out on stage. Oh. I squinted at the one in the back who had a water bottle in their hand, except whatever in it was not water. Red, fishious fluid slushed around the container. Aha, they downed it in one go, set the bottle down, and wiped their hand across their mouth before picking up a guitar. Perhaps, yeah, it isn't water. Perhaps it's chili sauce, you know, like super raw chili sauce. That's why it's so... what do you call it? Diluted? No, wet? Watery. Yeah, as they say, it is an eccentric band, so perhaps this person loved to drink chili water. Meanwhile, the one I assumed to be their front man was stepping up to the mic. Okay. While Seven and I were interrogating Sydney, Brian had been doing some investigating of his own, apparently.
Hey, Caleb.
Hey, Caleb. Brian pointed to a guy who was leaning against the wall in the corner with his arms crossed. Ah, hello.
Isn't that the one guitarist from Stonecatcher? Gavin and Gabe's cousin?
Who? Caleb looked up from organizing the pile of stickers into a display shaped like a star.
It does look like him, yeah. What's his name again?
Did I miss something?
Mitch, I think.
Yeah, I'm kind of missing some context here. He looked around at the sea of bloodline shirts.
Kinda sticks out. Weird that no one seems to recognize him.
Mm-hmm.
Stonecatcher is pretty big right now.
Yeah, as if all the crowd is
This whole crowd is
only...
weird.
Yeah, it's as if all the people here is a fan of bloodline, like, that's why they didn't notice. This whole crowd is kind of weird.
They're like,
Oh, okay, that weird.
this band.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think most of them were watching us. It's like they're hypnotized or something.
Nah, I think this is just normal band stuff. Brian wrapped his beard thoughtfully.
Stay here. I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
For God's sake, don't try to sell anything.
Alright, sure, I wouldn't say anything. Promise. Caleb saluted him with a grin and went back to arranging the stickers. Like we could sell anything at all. Yeah, like we could sell anything at all in the first place. Brian approached the figure against the wall.
Hey,
Mm-hmm. The guy looked a bit younger than him and also nearly a foot shorter. He seemed to have a permanent skull on his face.
Mitch, right?
The young man turned to him, cocking an eyebrow.
Who's asking?
Oh, okay.
I'm with the opening band. You're from Stonecatcher, right?
Right.
Yeah. What? You want an autograph or something?
No, I just want to ask questions.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. Ryan leans against the wall beside him.
We're friends with Gavin and Gabe. They talk about you sometimes.
Mitch seems to relax a little.
Oh yeah? That's kind of
Mhm.
funny. I'm pretty sure Gavin's just mad that my band got big before his did.
Oh no, he speaks highly of you.
Oh, okay.
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
Okay, you're right. He says you're kind of a dick.
God dang it. Mitch actually laughed at that.
That's more like it. It runs in the family.
Okay. Brian nodded in acknowledgement
So what are you doing here?
while watching the concert, obviously.
Our label is interested in these guys.
Oh, okay.
I never heard of them, but I was in the area, so I thought I'd check them out.
Alright.
Yeah, we didn't know who they were either. We just got a weird offer from their management to open the show.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to have quite a following.
Mm-hmm.
If this crowd is any indication, yeah.
Obviously.
I guess I'm not that surprised. These gimmicky bands tend to do well with the teen girl crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Gimmicky?
Gimmicky? What do you mean? Mitch waved a hand vaguely at the mass of people.
You've seen this place? I haven't seen this much makeup in a room since black veil brides were still painting their faces.
I mean, why not? It's kinda cool. Ryan took a moment to really look at the other faces in the room. Most of them were in fact teenage girls. And quite a number had stark white face paint and blackout eyes in a style that hadn't been popular in a decade. Add to that sheer amount of black clothing, spiked jewelry, and lacy chokers, and we may as well have been at a hot topic in 2008. The whole crowd was very ebony darkness, if I do say so myself.
I guess you have a point.
Mm-hmm.
You think that has anything to do with why they didn't come out of their blacked out RV until like 20 minutes ago?
Mitch shrugged.
Not sure. I
Mhm.
wouldn't be surprised if it was part of the act, but it's hard to tell.
Mm-hmm.
What other reason could there be?
It's not like they're making a deal with the devil and also a vampire, right? Impossible. Mitch shuffled his feet.
I wouldn't think too hard about it if I were you.
Okay, why? Ryan was about to ask what the hell was that supposed to mean when the lights went down and the band filed on stage. By the way, Brian neglected to tell us about his encounter until the next day, which I was kind of pissed because I actually did want an autograph. Okay. I'm not quite sure if Bloodline live up to their supposed hype musically, but the audience certainly seemed to think they did. They really leaned into that theoretical mid-20s emo rock style, a mix of My Chemical Romance, oh my jam, yes, Prehiatus Fall Out Boy, and a dash of old school Panic at the disco, you know, when they were an actual band for good measure, okay. Their look took more inspiration from that gothic heavy metal aesthetic though. While they cram a pretty impressive light show on the tiny stage, I reckon their stage set would have looked more like something of out of an Avenged Sevenfold or Ghost show if they had the room. I caught myself tapping my foot to the beat as I watched them from back at our merch booth, which still wasn't being patronized, surprise. The crowd jammed and cheered and rolled around like an ocean, crowd surfers occasionally gliding over the waves and into the arms of a team of security guards. Okay. That had been nearly falling asleep during our set. Their frontman, who the internet told me went by Blair, was charismatic and seemed to have a hold on the crowd that I really need to figure out how to get. Okay. They watched his every move, screaming every time he so much as took a swig of water, and at least a few of the girls teared up when he addressed the audience in between songs, yelling some things about how he was such an inspiration or had saved their life or some such. Or just that they wanted to make have his what? Okay. I'm not altogether sure if I want fans like that someday or not. It seems like a lot of pressure. I don't know. That seems more than a pressure. There was something else to it, though. I've been plenty of shows like this. I knew this kind of crowds, but this was different. Couldn't put my fingers on it, but something about the way Blair carried himself on stage was captivating in a way that I don't have the right word to describe. It was hard not to get drawn in. Indeed. After their set, we were waiting by the green room, which the band had quickly disappeared into and the guard was still blocking. The vampire theory was still turning in my mind. After all, at this point, it wouldn't even be that weird if it were true. And Sydney's avoidance on the matter hadn't helped assuage the concern that we were sharing the venue with even more monsters than usual. Do you really need to know if they are vampires? So, you know, we stood there and waited for them like sane people do. Caleb had snuck in while they were on stage and taken Tiff to the safety of the van. We just had to hope no one had seen him, okay? In retrospect, we probably could have just reclaimed the room for ourselves and stayed there, but we just compelled to watch their set and see what all the fuss was about, I guess. Finally the door opened and Bloodline began to file out of the room. I noticed that there was very little light coming from inside. They looked like they were going to walk right past us, so I took the proactive approach and stepped in their path.
Yo, hey guys! Great set!
Yeah, sure. I pulled out my best fake enthusiasm voice for this one. Yo, very great, awesome, woo!
We were going to grab some drinks across the street. Want to join us?
Brian muttered to Caleb.
We were?
No, I don't know.
No thanks.
He tried to push past me. I stepped in front of him again. Okay.
That's too bad. We were hoping we could get some tips. You guys really know how to work a crowd.
That seemed to get his attention. I cuffed two of the other band members looking at each other, as if they knew they were about to get into something they didn't like. A look I know well.
That's so.
Yeah. There was definitely something strange about him up close, but it was hard to nail down. He was one of those people that commanded attention. Like he was the sun and everyone else was just a tiny orbiting planet. Granted, that may be a bad metaphor given Bloodline's apparent aversion to daylight. Yeah, I think there is something strange. I just can't pinpoint what that is. Blair didn't bother to look at his band for approval. Mm-hmm.
We might have time for one drink. Anything for a fan, right?
Yes. He smiled, revealing a set of teeth that looked a little too sharp to be natural. Mm-hmm. I mean, perhaps it is. Who can decide what is natural or not, right? The rest of Bloodline response was less than enthusiastic, but they followed Blair as he sauntered out the door. Savannah grabbed my shirt sleeve to hiss in my ear as we walked out of the venue.
Corey,
Mm-hmm.
we have to be 2 states away tomorrow. Is this really a good idea?
It is, it is.
It's under control. I'm just gonna get them a little tipsy, and hopefully they'll just admit they're vampires, and we can go.
Uh-huh.
Wait, that's what you're worried about?
Yeah.
We have a ghost doll.
Mm-hmm.
We met a giant spider monster.
Mm-hmm.
And almost got eaten by mutant weasels. Are vampires really a stretch at this point?
Yeah, no, it isn't, but still, why should we know about them being vampire or not?
No, but why do you want to know if they're vampires?
Exactly.
Morbid curiosity.
Okay, okay. Okay. Alright, okay.
Corey...
Mm-hmm.
Hey, stay here if you want, but I'm going drinking with the bloodsuckers. And vampires aside, I want to know where the fuck they got the money for the RV.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want one.
You don't want to know. Savannah sighed exasperatedly and jogged to keep up with us. Now I know I said I was going to get them tipsy, and that was absolutely the plan, but well, the plan fell apart when I figured out a little too late how well Blair could hold his alcohol. Half a dozen shots and a few cheap beers later, the would-be vampire was chatting my ears off about his entire life story, and I was struggling to stay upright on my bar stool. I think he have been exhausting to be around, even if I hadn't been drinking. He also hadn't owned up to being a blood-sucking monster yet, go figure. I was starting to think he really was just an egotistical singer that leaned into his goth face too hard. Savannah and Caleb had managed to strike up a conversation with some of the other band members, and Brian, who was still a bit queasy from that veggie burger, was sitting in a corner sipping ginger ale and chatting with Sydney, who had joined us after they packed up the leftover merch.
So, you see, keeping a crowd's attention is about keeping them engaged.
That's true.
It is the entertainment business after all. Also, if they think you're larger than life, they'll treat you as such.
I am larger than life. I mean, yeah, I am. I am awesome. At least I think Blair was saying something like that. He might have actually had some good advice, but my memory of this part of the night is a little fuzzy. Fuzzy indeed.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Really interesting. I lean on the bar, trying to keep my words from slurring too much.
By the way, are you guys vampires?
Okay, that's what... That was really direct. That finally got him to pause for a split second. The mask slipped, and even in my drunken state I could see about 100 thugs zipping through his head all at once. Either you call him being a vampire, or you think you're just too excellently stupid. He quickly composed himself, however, leaning on his hand and smirking.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah. I don't really know what answer I was hoping for, but it wasn't that.
Look, man. I'm just saying, you guys are kind of weird. Is the whole emo goth thing just an act, or what?
Well, to be fair, you're all weird too.
Most people would assume it is.
You're not answering my questions.
Why would I? This is more fun.
Yeah, this is more fun. I struggled to come up with a coherent response to that. Those shots were really getting to me. Whatever weird squinty drunk face I was making must have been pretty good, though, because Blair started to laugh.
You're pretty funny, you know that? Vampires, come on, man.
Come on, man, vampires.
Listen, dude.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen some pretty weird stuff on this tour. I gotta check.
Yeah, I gotta check. He looked intrigued by that but didn't press further. Instead, he turned to the bartender and ordered us another round of shots. My stomach turned, but I didn't have the sense to protest. Blair raised his glass to me.
To new friends.
New friends, indeed. I wasn't really sure where he got the idea that we were friends, but I clinked my shot glass against his anyway. The tequila burned, but I tried not to let it show in my face. As we set our glass back down at the bar, Blair stood up and stretched, still seeming unfazed by the booze.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
should probably take off.
Yes.
Got a tour to finish and all. Here's hoping we cross paths again sometime.
Probably.
Yeah. Nice meeting you.
I let him go, but couldn't shake the feeling of dissatisfaction with the whole interaction. I don't really know what I wanted out of it. I just know I didn't get it. As Blair and the rest of Bloodline filed out of the door, he paused and glanced back at us. Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey.
Ah.
Dog, by the way.
Yeah, indeed. So you saw Thief. It took a second for me to process that, but once I did, I stood up and tried to follow.
Hey, wait!
And you fall? Yep. I made it about 3 steps before losing what was left of my dignity, tripping over my own feet and hitting the floor. No, Corey. Oh. The next thing I remember, I was waking up in the passenger seat of the van, in need of a metric fuck ton of aspirin and something greasy. It had to be the early hours of the morning. Light was just starting to peek over the edge of the treetops on the highway. Are we fine? Okay, we are. 7 and Caleb were passed out in the back seats, with Thief napping on Caleb's lap. Brian wordlessly handed me a Gatorade from a cooler between the front seats, not taking his eyes off the road. I took it, sipping it so my stomach didn't decide to reject the sudden intake, but the sudden sugar intake.
Thanks.
Oh. Ryan nodded.
So, what's all that about?
Yeah.
What?
You know.
Last night. I thought you were supposed to be the reasonable one.
Yes. I slid further down on the seat.
I think I deserve a night off once in a while.
I saw Brian glare at me out of the corner of his eye.
I think you're getting a little too into this supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
You said you thought they were vampires or something?
Would you really be surprised if they were?
Not really.
I mean, no, not really, but if we keep
I see.
we're going to keep finding it. Don't go poking bears.
I just grunted half-heartedly.
Anyway. I was talking to Sydney, and apparently Bloodline is talking to 10 from Logan about getting a tour together, too. So, we're probably going to...
Okay.
Try to keep the peace, would you?
Okay. Definitely wouldn't stake them out.
I'm pretty sure Blair already thinks we're BFFs.
Yeah, you guys seem to be hitting it off.
I think it was more like he was messing with me. There's something weird about that dude.
Really?
We have a dead dog for a pet. We're weird.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
okay.
you should know. For real though, I want to know what was up with that crowd. It was like he had them under some kind of spell.
I think you're thinking way too hard about it.
Oh?
I take my little sister to see some boy band one
Oh,
day.
okay.
That's exactly what the crowd was.
It's actually normal, alright.
Are you saying they're a boy band? They're not even all guys.
Well, I mean, this is the era where we doesn't need to care if it's guy or girls or queer or whatever you want to be, okay?
Of a sort. Remember when Pete Wentz was on the cover of, like, J14 magazine?
What are those?
Yeah. Those were the good old days.
Tell me about it. Anyway, I want to state for the record that if they bring Guyliner back into fashion, I will not be participating.
Okay.
What? Don't you think you look good in makeup?
Could be. Brian could do good in makeup.
You wouldn't be able to see it behind the glasses. Besides, crowd appeal is really your job as the front man anyway.
Cool. Our sophomore record is going to be our mid-2000s emo phase. Write that down.
You write it down. I'm driving.
Oh yeah, being responsible driver. Good job, Brian.
I don't have paper.
Oh, that's a shame. Didn't you have a phone? I sank down into the seat, a sour expression settling back into my face as I tried to remember the previous night. Brian was silent for another moment, flipping on the turn signal as we move onto an even more deserted highway than the last one.
Seriously though, man. Are you good?
In what way?
I don't know.
I have the hangover of a lifetime, if that's what you mean.
No, we've all been there. I mean, like, I don't know. We have enough on our hands with Caleb always getting us into shit. We don't need you doing it too.
Oh.
I can't tell if you're worried or scolding me.
Both?
A bit of both.
Okay, a bit of both.
Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
Hey, you're the one who wanted the fearless leader role.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait until we can hire a tour manager, so wrangling you guys can be someone else's problem.
That reminds me. Did Bloodline have a TM?
Ah.
I don't remember seeing anyone else with them. It was just Sydney.
Interesting.
Their TM is probably just a demon they summoned. With him.
Yeah, probably. Probably, indeed.
Ah, so now they're demons.
No, I still think they're vampires, but with demonic assistance.
Fair enough.
Same difference. All cult shit.
I think a cult is something else, actually.
Really? Okay then.
Whatever.
Ah. Deciding the conversation had reached a reasonable conclusion, I rolled over in the seat as much as one can and watched the stars until sleep took me again, sorry.
Honestly, now that I'm reading back through it,
Okay.
this whole post is mostly just me embarrassing myself. But I maintain that there's something super weird about Bloodline.
Super weird, eh?
I was just poking around some of the social media, and they seem to have literally just appeared in thin air a year or so ago, which might explain why we hadn't heard of them. They seem to have gained a pretty big following practically overnight, though, I'm not sure how. If there was a viral video or something, I couldn't find it.
How strange.
You can't even blame, like, fake accounts or buying followers because there were so many people physically at the show. And if Sydney is to be believed, it's like that all over.
Yep, they're pretty successful.
I'd really like to chat with whoever does their marketing, if such a person exists.
Oh. Do you?
Anywho, I promise next time we'll get to our normal misadventures.
Okay.
Get this one off my chest. Things only got weirder after that anyway.
Oh, okay.
Oh, great. Just got a text from an unknown number.
Wait, what? Do you really need to write that?
It's Blair.
Okay, that is upsetting. Blair, what the freak?
How the hell did he get my number?
Yeah, how?
I'll get back to you guys later.
Corey, are you okay? Credits, lead artist Hazu, coloring assistant Juzzy, Hazu. Yeah, Scalabon Studio is Hazu, by the way. Voiceover, just wordless Corey, Alan Chan. Hello there, Alan. Caleb, JZ Oliver as Brian, Rebecca Chiara Manarano as Savannah and the Guard, Ryan Hoyle as Blair, Jaron Beckett as Mitch, Eliza Park as Sydney, USH, Grain Banner by blah blah blah. That's a long dialogue. Yep. Oh, I see Kevin McLeod and fans in Japan there. Very cool. Ranfi. Well, yes, so I think this case chapter is rather lacking than the case number 2 or number 1, since there's not much interaction between the main crew characters. I don't know. We didn't even manage to see Thief on the usual sprite form, only at the end. But I guess that is fine. The story decided to focus on Caleb this time, which is a fine decision too. So I guess that's all for Play Dead. I hope you enjoy it. See you later then in the next chapter when it comes out. Bye bye.